Okay, let's try this again. I think what the problem was when I went live the first time I had my earbuds in. I had my earbuds in. And then I took them out, and then I think that might have frozen the screen on my computer, and that may have caused problems. So, yeah. I'm just gonna well, Maroney doesn't do it as much as Dro. With how much Dro talks about Roman, you'd think they're in a relationship or they're dating or something. Worse yet, married. Well, I'm sorry, Fabian, but I don't want you here right now. I'm not actually just put you in timeout. Oh, yeah, yeah. Any. Yeah. I just want to say. Hey, you can do that, Vince, if you want. You can do that, Vince, if you want. What? Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts on WrestleMania? Like, were there any matches that you liked more than others, or any matches that you thought were just a complete bomb and they just fell so flat? Like, let's see. As far as the Mania matches, I think, let's see, Charlotte versus Ronda, Roman versus Brock, New Day versus Ridge Holland and Sheamus. The only three I can think of that were like complete that were a complete mess and didn't deserve to be there. Yeah, I mean the Corbin versus Drew match wasn't that bad, but it's not like nothing we haven't seen on SmackDown, which is where that match actually should have been taking place. They should have had that Intercontinental Championship triple threat match on SmackDown on WrestleMania instead of Drew versus Corbin. Of course, badass Vince, and of course you didn't get to celebrate that much. You didn't really get to celebrate much. Stone Cold then came out and whooped your ass for like the 10 millionth time. Like I've completely lost count. I've completely lost count of how many times Stone Cold has whooped you and stunned you into oblivion. Yeah, I'm just wondering what are you gonna do with your little pet, your little boy toy now. Now that he lost his match, since he lost his match to Pat, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna be like, you were supposed to win your match against Pat, so bye. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but Oh, Vince, I would like to run something by you, but I'm not sure if you'd be interested. This is just a suggestion that I have for Edge's supposed heel faction, because I'm, I'm ever since this past, I guess this past Monday or this past WrestleMania, ever since I heard that this was a possibility, I started thinking in my head, thinking in my mind about all things, about the possibilities of of this new faction, and and all of you that are here, I will. All of you that are here are also on Matt's channel. So for those of you who maybe didn't know, I made a prediction last night on Matt's channel that Rhea Ripley was going to turn on Liv after their women's tag team championship match. They will more than likely lose, and then she will join Edge's heel faction. Now, I don't know if they're going to add a fourth member, but that's what I would do, and have Damian Priest and whoever the other guy is, whoever the second guy would be to join, because I don't know who they would get to join besides Damian Priest and Rhea. Maybe like either T-Bar or Mace, or even like, because there aren't that many like dark characters on the dark character male characters on Raw besides Damian Priest and Edge. But just have like Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and then a fourth member. And like a fourth member, have them go after the tag titles, the Raw Tag Team Championships. Have Rhea go after the Raw Women's Championship. And then have Edge go after the Undisputed Championship. I'm obviously I'm not Vince McMahon. And I don't know what Vince McMahon's plans are for this heel faction of Edge's, but I would book this heel faction as strong as the Bloodline, because this has the potential to be something either amazing, or it has something to be, or it will just be flat. And I seriously hope that that's not what happens, because you're talking about Edge. I mean, pretty much everything Edge does is golden. There's no reason why they shouldn't book this heel faction as strong as the Bloodline. So that's just my suggestion. Badass Vince. That's just my opinion. Because I would definitely book this heel faction as strong as the Bloodline, and then have them hold all of the Raw gold. Like maybe have at some point have maybe Finn Balor, maybe have Damian Priest and whoever else you would decide to bring in, Vince, have them go after the Raw Tag Team Championships, win, and then maybe have Damian Priest win back the US title, and then have Edge go after the Undisputed Championship. Like that, this heel version of Edge could actually beat Roman. I'm not kidding. No. I'm sorry, but I don't know why WWE is doing this, because why would Vince McMahon, or why would just WWE in general bury RK Bro? They are literally Next to the Usos, they're the best tag team in WWE. No one, no tag team in WWE right now may be better than than Usos, but the RK Bro is just as good. And and why would you bury those two? I mean, I know for the longest time WWE has teased maybe the possibility of of a of a breakup between the two of them because I mean, let's face it, it's Randy Orton. No, the Usos do not need to hold all the gold. The Bloodline. I mean, I even tweeted this last night. Like, hey Vince, why not have RK Bro? Why not have the new Usos go over to Raw, win the Raw Tag Team Championships? Why not have Jay win the Intercontinental Championship? Why not have Jay win the United States Championship, and then and then have them go down to NXT, win the NXT Tag Team Championships? Why not have why not have Roman go after the NXT Championship, and then have like Jimmy or Jay win the North American Championship? Why don't you just put every single title in WWE on the Bloodline? Because God knows that's what we need. Not. That's not what we need. I'm sorry. But, well, yeah. Well, he is going to lose. He is going to lose. Because if at any point you book him against Roman Reigns, he's going to lose. Because everybody that's been booked against Roman Reigns since he became Universal Champion has been buried. So, I mean, Cody is probably going to lose some matches, but he's probably not going to lose very many because obviously they are probably going to give him a strong push. And I do hope he gets and I do hope he whoops Miz's ass on Monday. Huh? What, Austin? Yeah, what are you talking about, Aaron? Because thanks, Nick Bland07. Don't know who you are, but you're probably a subscriber to my channel, so thank you for joining me. I don't know. But I am sorry, Vince, but I would not have the Bloodline win all the titles in WWE because then who would they face? Because I mean WWE is already treading on thin ice with this whole undisputed championship thing, and with Roman Reigns just burying opponent after opponent after opponent until there's nobody left. Because the only people on the main roster that I think could pose a credible threat to Roman Reigns is Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes if they decide to go down that road at some point. See, and I'm just gonna throw Sheamus out there because he's been a two-time world heavyweight champion. So I mean he's been at the top before. So that's the only reason why I put in with Sheamus. I mean, as far as who the Usos are gonna challenge, are gonna face next, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Ridge Holland and Butch go after the titles. Because that would be interesting. And then have Sheamus go after Roman, but with what happened this past Friday, looks like we might be seeing a continuation of the Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roman Reigns match that we almost got at the 2020 for the 2021 Royal Rumble with the Usos and with Jay and Roman had screwed Nakamura in that gauntlet match. Like, putting what was the point of putting Adam Pearce in that match if all they were going to do is just substitute him for Kevin Owens again? I think the Usos need to face new challengers because WWE is known for endless rematches, but I mean, I would like Shinsuke to win, but even I have to agree that's probably not going to happen. He's going to have a good match, but it won't be anything special, and he's probably going to lose. But then, as far as who's next after him, probably Drew McIntyre. He's probably the only one left that actually has a realistic shot. And then I said Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes, and maybe even Sheamus if they decide to go down that road. And then who knows? Maybe even Gunther, because I did just tweet about that on my Twitter that I would not mind seeing that. I would not mind seeing a Gunther versus Roman Reigns match, even if it isn't for the title. Just have him face Roman on SmackDown in a non-title match. That would be interesting. I don't know when The Rock will appear. Well, I think it's pretty obvious we're going to get that Rock versus Roman. Whether it'll be for the title or not, who knows? Some of these name changes don't make sense. Like Butch Pete Dunne was a pretty decent name. Pete Dunne was a pretty decent name. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez, that's okay. I can accept that because that it sounds believable. Okay, at least it's an actual last name and not just some nickname like Butch. So Gunther. See, I don't think anyone else has had a name change that I can think of. Just those three. But at least Raquel Rodriguez sounds like a name, like a believable name. So. Yeah, whoever that originally was, because the only member of Imperium that I remember that I even knew their name was Walter. I couldn't remember any. I didn't know any of the other names from. Yeah, that was interesting, Nash Carter. But the pro. Yeah. Yeah, that picture of Nash Carter that surfaced of him just like Hitler, looking like Hitler. That was interesting. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But hey, I'm just gonna say this again. I literally would book Edge's new heel faction to the moon. I would book it as strong as the Bloodline because I'm sorry if this rubs some people the wrong way, but I just think this heel version of Edge is the best version of Edge ever. Ever. I mean, Edge has been heel before, but never this heel. Never, but he's just been like, but every time he was heel before, he was just like normal heel, like, cheating to win matches. That's what every heel does. But this truly like dark heel, this I can get behind. And this heel version of Edge could actually beat Roman Reigns. I'm not kidding. It could. I mean, well, obviously, if their reasoning behind unifying the titles, the two main titles, is to end the brand split, then that would happen. And that could happen. They could have a situation where Edge's heel faction comes into contact with Roman's bloodline, and they could revisit that. And they could revisit that feud between Edge and Roman. This would actually be interesting because the bloodline wouldn't have the numbers advantage again. Because the bloodline wouldn't actually have the numbers advantage anymore. It'd be like three it'd be Edge, Damian, and then whoever else I would choose to be like the tag team partner of Damian Priest, and then like Rhea Ripley. But that's just me. I'm not gonna. Yes, you would run away from. No, I wouldn't put. No, I don't think the Fiend's returning anytime soon. He's still in Hollywood. He's still doing like a movie or something. I can't remember what he's doing. But I don't think he's going to return to WWE anytime soon. I mean, if he even does return to wrestling, I don't know if he's ever going to return to WWE again. Well, it already does. Well, it looks like you are burying Elias, Vince. I mean, I'm actually somewhat surprised that he's still on the roster. Because he just seems like one of those guys that was good, but was never like main event good. And it's a surprise that he's lasted this long on the main roster with all of the crazy releases last year. Many of them stars that could have been main event talent, but I don't know. WWE decided to screw the pooch. Like Karrion Kross. At one point, I was thinking when Karrion Kross debuted on the main roster, I thought, okay, here's a match that I would like to see: Karrion Kross versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Obviously, that didn't happen. Obviously, WWE screwed Karrion Kross in his very first match against Jeff Hardy. I mean, basically every single opponent that Karrion Kross faced during his entire run on the main roster was just mid-card talent, or just talent that was talent that shouldn't even be wrestling in WWE anymore because they're just not doing anything. And if you think about it, see Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Jackson Riker, John. If you think about it, almost all of Karrion Kross's opponents from his entire main roster run are now released, including Kross himself. Obviously, Ricochet is still here, and now he's the Intercontinental Champion. And I hope WWE just doesn't bury a lot Ricochet's championship, and they actually let him hold the title for at least a couple months and have him defend it regularly, because That would just be a shame if they were to just ruin something that's good simply because they don't like it. Yeah, because it has been pretty well documented that Vince McMahon likes. It's been well documented that Vince McMahon likes to know that he helped a certain superstar get over. That I think is one of the reasons why they didn't push Zack Ryder for so long. Because Zack Ryder already had everything he needed to get over with the fans. He didn't need WWE's help. He didn't need Vince McMahon's help, and I think Vince McMahon may have taken offense to that. I mean, Eva Marie was dreadful. I mean, I could see her return working if all she was going to be doing was just managing Dewdrop. But they actually had her wrestle. And then that whole thing where Dewdrop wrestles for her, but she takes credit for the win. That just made no sense. Okay, Dewdrop was the one wrestling, was the one in the ring wrestling. She should get credit for the win. But yeah, Ronda's definitely gonna win the title at Backlash. I mean, she should. I just don't know why WWE would carry this out any longer than it has to. I mean, they definitely. They stretched Charlotte versus Rhea for three matches for the Raw Women's Championship last year, which was it was okay. Well, hey, but hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That's WWE for you. They're gonna do what they want, and damn what we think. I just, I, yeah. Well, yeah, of course, WWE is going to continue to bury certain superstars that either they don't like or they just can't figure out what to do with them. Because it's been going on for years. When WWE does not know what to do with a certain superstar, they just bury that superstar. I mean, that actually I think is probably one of the reasons why Tony Storm left. Because WWE had something in her that was good. Yeah, you don't know what to do with Asuka. Or, perfect example right here, Alexa Bliss. Now it's obvious WWE doesn't know what to do with her right now. Which, I still don't know why she had to come back for the Elimination Chamber just to lose and then have another few months off. Obviously, she's getting married soon, so that could have been a reason, but still. Even if she's in wrestling, she could at least make appearances, on a promo on Raw. Still, just. Well, they. Of course, you would, Vince. He's your pet. He's your boy toy. He's your lapdog. Yeah, I did. I did.
Oh, okay. It's about almost 15 minutes till you can be ready to go.
Yeah,
Sure.
soon. Soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm, okay, in about 10 minutes, I am going to be signing off and going home. So just gonna just have my dad tell me that we're gonna be leaving soon. Johnny Boots. I'm not quite sure what exactly are you talking about, Vince? Oh no, that wasn't Johnny. That wasn't Johnny Boots. That was my dad. Yeah, just now that was my dad. We're gonna be leaving in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna still be on here for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna leave. And then I'm gonna leave. Nah, probably not. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just. Yeah. I'm just. I worry sometimes about certain superstars that I like. I like. They're like if I like Ricochet. I mean, I actually like Ricochet, and I would like to see WWE give him a strong, Continental Championship run. But then, the fact that he lost, those two matches in a row on SmackDown, and then he lost Austin Theory on Raw. I really was worried that he was going to lose his Intercontinental Championship, but he didn't. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this again because I would love to see this happen. Actually, no, I don't think I would have liked that idea. Knoxville winning the Continental Championship. Well, that was not a good idea. I mean, what? I mean, it could have worked if he won the title, then on SmackDown, the Friday Night SmackDown following Mania, just say, obviously I can't defend this title because I'm not an actual WWE wrestler, so I vacate the title, and then SmackDown, and then WWE decides to do an Intercontinental Championship tournament, much like they did in 2020 when Sami Zayn had to vacate the title because because apparently Sami Zayn decided that after WrestleMania 36, he didn't have to show up on Raw and show up on SmackDown and defend the title, so he decided to take a 4 month vacation. I mean, we were wondering why Sami Zayn wasn't on Raw on SmackDown for four 4 months not defending the title. It turns out he was taking a vacation, and then he just expected to still be Intercontinental Intercontinental Champion. Like, do you really expect us to just accept that you're still the Intercontinental Champion simply because you never lost it? You never lost it because you never even bothered defending the title to begin with after WrestleMania. Yeah, funny, Vince, funny. But yeah, that has been the Edge heel faction. I just I really do feel like this has so much potential, and I have so much potential to be booked as strong as the Bloodline. Have obviously you've got Damian Priest. More than likely you'll have Rhea Ripley. You'll have Rhea Ripley within the next week or two, and then have like a third person join, another like male superstar join, have them turn heel if they're a face, or if they're already heel, just have them join. And then book them as strong as the Bloodline. That would be. Have them booked just as strong as the Bloodline. That's how I would do it, but I am not Vince. Although I wish I was, because then I would definitely be booking that faction as strong as the Bloodline. And at some point down the line, I would have that. No, Carlito, the third member, will be Rhea Ripley. It's already been reported that Rhea Ripley has been in talks with WWE as being the third member for Edge's heel faction. But as far as who would join after her, whether they would bring in a third member, I don't know. But that's what I would do. Have Damian Priest go after the US title too, as well as the tag team championships, and have them be a double champ. Tommaso Ciampa, I don't think I'd mind seeing that. Like, turn him heel, because I know in NXT he did turn heel one time before when he turned heel on Johnny Gargano. But I don't remember that because that was before I started watching WWE. For those of you who maybe don't know, I only started watching WWE in 2019. It was the first episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. First time I ever saw WWE. The first ever Friday Night SmackDown on Fox episode. The first time. I mean, I wouldn't even be mad to see Finn Balor join, but then that would be weird, because wouldn't Finn and Damian Priest be fighting over the United States Championship? Because I'm still pretty sure that the WWE has been teasing a possible Demon Finn Balor versus Damian Priest match. Who cares? Well, it's about time for me to go, so I'm gonna have to end this. 40 minutes? Pretty good. Pretty good. I got 2 people watching now, so that's... So, yeah, the 2 people watching, I guess, are Carlito and... Yeah, I had a lot of fun. But I definitely hope that Vince books this Edge heel faction as strong as the Bloodline, because it has the potential to be just as dominant and just as strong. And at some point down the line, have this new heel version of Edge challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship, and maybe win it. I hope so, Vince. I hope so. Because this is probably one of the few things in WWE right now that I actually am liking, is this new Edge heel faction. But I want this to be booked strong, and I know it can be if WWE writers actually put some time and effort into it, which we all know they don't do very often when it comes to storylines. When it comes to storylines and factions and stuff, writers don't really care too much unless it's Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, or the Bloodline. Everybody else is just meant to be buried and buried hard. Well, 40 minutes. That's a good amount of time. Yes. Well, guys, I gotta go. Just before I go, would like to show you some things that I got today that I'm gonna watch, some DVDs that I'm gonna watch this week, hopefully. Let's see this. Let's see this. If you haven't seen these, you should. And this. Yeah. Yeah. If you think about it, WWE probably already has done a documentary about you, Vince, and it's probably already on DVD. So I guess this is goodbye. Bye, everybody.